Hello and welcome to the audio commentaries for the Joker blogs. This is Hypnotized. I'm Scott McClure.
And I'm Andrew DeVary.
And joining us is...
Paul Vanosic.
This is the first episode that does not include the title card introducing Harleen. And we wanted it to be sort of a shock to the audience that he has a new doctor in this episode.
Especially after the shenanigans that occurred in the last episode, we thought it was necessary to kind of step away from her because... people died last episode, so it's kind of like some serious consequences are going to follow with that.
We've been wanting to work with Paul for many episodes back, and we had to wait for the appropriate character, because we didn't want to waste you on a dead body.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I really got to thank you too, Andrew and Scott, for spotting me in that Fargo alleyway and just offering me a contract on the spot.
You bet. That's what we do. Every once in a while, you get some gold.
And you really did in multiple ways. Okay, now this felt a lot like that scene in Heat where Pacino and De Niro finally shared the screen together.
It did.
And people spent years talking about when are they going to get on screen, and here they are.
Your face isn't shown, though.
And I feel that if it were to be shown, I think you would have lost viewership.
Yeah.
And that's just going to happen.
It did once we did show your face.
And it did go down, didn't it?
Yeah.
And that's just a matter of the business. It was all in the trade papers.
One of the real joys of this episode was getting to work with Paul Vanosic, who played Dr. Hugo Strange, and he and Stephen Maloney, who plays Dr. Arkham, are good friends. They've been working together for probably a good 10 years, I'd guess, and really have a great comedic chemistry. So it was great to have him on board the Joker blogs, even though they didn't get to share any scenes together. So it's probably a bit jarring for them, since they, honestly, it's Abbott and Costello or Laurel and Hardy there.
Yeah.
I won't say who's who. I'm not going to play that game.
What I remember, my favorite thing about this episode is kind of writing it was just a real joy. Just with all the twists and turns that it takes, and kind of it was fun to play around with the character of Dr. Hugo Strange. One of my favorite episodes of the animated series is the one that he's in, and he uses the equipment on Bruce Wayne and a lot of other people to find out their dreams and things like that, to get their secrets. And so it's kind of fun to go, okay, we're bringing Strange in. How do we get to play around with that? And so that's one of the reasons we put the night vision sequences, because we wanted to show a change. We wanted to show that he was maybe hooked up to something, that something else was going on.
Another, on a random note, the smile actually had to be painted black in order for the night vision to pick that up. Otherwise, it could not recognize the color red. It was just all white, and it didn't look like the Joker. There's a line coming up here. It reminds me of the ocean, which is actually an inside joke. There was this crazy spoof art film that we made while I was at film school, and it was this just crazy, goofy, very Swedish, Fellini or Ingmar Bergman type film that does not make any sense. But actually, there'll be a link. You can click on it and check it out if you'd like. Warning: it's very artsy, but we just wanted to reference that film, and that's why he says that.
Yeah, interesting tidbit that will be all over the IMDb. I really wanted to be strong with this character and take some big brave choices, and as you can hear, my character has a Jamaican accent here.
Jamaican. We wanted German.
Yeah, and I just went straight to Jamaican, and I thought that's strange.
Yeah, why not?
And fitting at the same time.
Absolutely.
So that's what that was.
Yeah, and everyone loved it, as you can see from the comments. Everyone loved it.
Not a single person was disappointed with the
I tell you,
choice
the
of that.
fan mail that I was receiving up to that point did not take a single dip.
Well, how did you feel about playing a character named Hugo Strange? Because obviously that's got to grab you in some way right from the beginning.
Well, first off, Hugo, I knew exactly what cologne to wear. I definitely wore my Hugo Boss cologne.
Sure.
And then Strange, well, you know what? That's a common used name in comic book history.
Sure. There's one for Marvel.
And that's the one that I
DC.
prepared for. And I wish you would have told me. I didn't know that you were doing Joker blogs. I really thought you were doing a different kind of blog.
Sure.
So I prepared for that Doctor Strange, and I really learned how to levitate for a moment there.
Ooh.
And I thought we were going to use that.
And we
but,
never did.
But Andrew told me when I brought my cape that he told me at the door before I even saw you in your makeup. He told me, he said, "What did you say?
Stop doing that, you freak."
Get the hell off my property or something?"
Yeah.
Something. I heard it from upstairs when I was getting ready.
Yeah. But I mean,
Could you levitate for us now if we asked you to?
sure.
Wow, that was amazing.
And I haven't done it in a while.
Yeah.
So
Well, but it was off the ground.
Oh boy.
You just
Yeah.
blew DeVary's mind.
I did. Well, he didn't ask for that. He didn't ask for that when he rudely.
Yeah.
But I meant, you know what? That's a tough job. That's
Yeah.
a tough job for you.
I mean, I have to go through all the freaks and people that really can't levitate.
You do.
They're just actually crazy.
And I mean, you do have to comb the alleyways of Fargo to find the next villain.
You do.
That's
Because they're
tough.
just, if you could hold an audition, but that's so hit or miss.
No, I gotta say, when I watched this 7 times after it came out in the first day,
Which was all of our views, actually.
yeah, that was me and my aunt. A lot of people loved the lighting that you guys chose on this. Like, how'd you guys film that? I don't know anything about. I see that there's buttons on cameras, but
But you don't know what they do.
what'd you do?
That
for
one
this?
levitates.
Okay.
Night vision. We always thought that was very creepy to that whole kind of cat eye glow that it gives the Joker.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did anything inspire you to do that, or was it just?
I think Paranormal Activity and things
Was that
like-
even out yet?
Probably not.
I don't think it was. I think it just kind of we wanted a.
Well, the surprise here
Different.
is that we can time travel. You can levitate.
Beautiful,
Oh.
beautiful.
We just wanted a change in how it looked, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Showing that there's some sort of like device or something going on more than normal.
And we went through a couple different choices. We at one point wanted Jarvis Tech, the Mad Hatter.
Jervis Tech.
Jervis. Well, see, I'm glad we didn't go with that one since I don't even know these characters. But DeVary really said no, it's got to be Hugo Strange, and it was a little bit difficult because I just can't take a name like Hugo Strange seriously. And I remember saying, well, we'll do it, but we've got to make a joke about that name, and he's got to say, well, then I'm Professor Giggles.
You have to make the characters in the series feel the same way as the audience does. And
Right.
then it's just sold.
And I think that's all it takes to kind of sell that
Yep.
you're living in this world where people do have names like Hugo Strange.
Absolutely.
Seriously. And
And that was pretty good Jamaican there.
it was good Jamaican, yeah. I lived there for a number of years.
I wish I could do a Jamaican accent.
Bela Lugosi could do one heck of a Jamaican
That's what I
accent.
studied mine.
Oh.
Yeah, I watched his most of his post-depression era
Sure.
work, and
Because before that, he was much happier.
yeah, it really was you can break it up into 2.
Sure.
Well, 3. It was the happy
Yep.
post-depression, because there was depressed, he didn't do any film
Right.
work there, and then after depression he did post-depression stuff.
Sure.
And then the 3rd was just movie musicals.
Yeah. And those were.
He did something like Wolfman.
He
or
tried
something
that
like
in the silent era, and it just didn't take off.
Yeah, people don't.
The
They
title cards for notes just didn't.
couldn't hear him.
No.
It was too big. Acting was too big.
Yeah.
Well, back to the Joker blogs.
Right, Joker blogs I find to be irreverently wicked.
Well, that's what we tried to in every episode. We're very early on talking about, what would the Joker do under hypnosis, and I think it was, it didn't take much time at all to decide that he wouldn't. he wouldn't be able to fall under hypnosis no matter what, and then it was just a matter of setting up this great payoff of you assume he is talking about the beautiful blonde is got to be Harleen.
Oh, twist
And,
ending. I love as we're seeing the things hooked up to his head. Now, what are the little thingamabobs on your forehead? Remember?
It's actually the ends of two headphones.
Oh,
We just
that's
tore the
right.
ends off of them and then put black duct tape cut out in circles for that. So if you need any fake medical looking equipment, just buy some cheap headphones. It'll fool any doctors.
Tear out your shoelaces.
And on a serious, well, maybe serious medical note, the sound effect playing throughout this hypnosis episode is actually a sound effect used for hypnotic trances. It's made by iDozer, and it is supposedly a sound that will make you feel the effects of a hypnosis. So be careful watching this episode, and we're not responsible for. Well, we might be responsible for anything you decide to do.
Possibly.
If you see yourself crawling into neighbors' homes and sleeping in water beds, now you know why.
There are a lot of other iDozer things we were listening to that give off other effects, and given the nature of this night vision one, it can come across, especially to the ladies, as a little sexy at times. And so I know there's one iDozer that kind of makes you horny, so I was kind of pushing for that one.
He wanted to use the Viagra one, which this is too personal. I just don't feel like I can.
How many pants references do you make in this?
The pants references, I think there's at least 3.
3.
And it seemed like we did one, and then it had to have one more, and it just seemed to build, and it didn't feel like we overdid it. I think what is interesting is this was the first episode that I got a call from my parents who were watching, in another state, and they gave me a call and they said, my dad said, I'm not sure I like this episode. And I said, oh, this was my new favorite. What didn't you like about it? He goes, well, it was a little too dirty, was, I think, his response. And yeah, given the expressions, and we're definitely implying that, it helps both of us. They're talking about
They're
talking about
nasty.
But no, they're talking about paying their bills. It helps both of them. Yeah, right.
Paying their bills. I guess it keeps them in the house to do the nasty.
Okay, so blatantly we're settled on it's definitely sexual innuendo here. Yeah.
The Joker Blogs does support the act of the nasty.
Yeah, I'm sure it's those eye rolling. Well, yeah, there they go.
Mm-hmm. And that tongue, gross. I find it gross. Others don't know.
It seemed to be that it seemed like the Joker was pretty either asexual in nature, or really didn't care who got his rocks off, and there definitely seems to be a part of his obsession with Batman. And we also wanted to see, Joker seems throughout the Dark Knight likes the abuse, and to have someone as intimidating as Hugo Strange beat the crud out of him.
Mm-hmm.
We were very happy to have that happen as well. So you did your own stunts.
I did.
How many punches did you...
Well, in my contract, as you guys wrote it up, you said 1 day of filming, 48 punches, 13 kicks.
Yep.
Oh.
And God, we filmed for, 2-3 hours? And we're getting pretty darn close to 48. Hadn't touched the kicks yet because I just kept missing. I was wearing those slippery shoes.
Sure.
But my stunt double was waiting. Hank.
Hank.
Thank you guys for providing me, Hank.
Hank was in the alley, just 3 streets down.
He actually had a much better accent than I did. But
by the way,
he was actually from Germany, which is crazy.
God, that's why he sounded so Jamaican.
we actually had to fire Hank.
Well, I felt so bad because he was just standing in the corner, and I just felt so. I was so.
I don't know how to say this, but Hank's dead.
Yeah, we didn't want to tell you.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it was rough.
They buried him in a box.
Sweet Hank.
So this one's dedicated to Hank.
I love your change here. The whole, it's a bad trip. Things are going wrong. Oh, it's
Like
a
in a nightmare. Yeah, it's things can change in an instant in a dream, and I also like it still gets a little creepy.
It gets scary.
And we always wanted to make sure that you might laugh, you might have fun, but there's got to be a moment where you're watching going, I do not like this.
Yeah, I mean we get a lot of comments and they're all, I wish the Joker would do this to me, and it's flattering, but he's a scary character, and a lot of times we want to kind of push that. Because at times we want to make you have fun with him, regret laughing at what he does, but also we want to definitely scare you at times too. Hey, there's my foot. I'm right there.
Oh, yep, that is DeVry's foot.
Yeah.
And again, I think how you know these things are funny, and then one of them just, again, you feel a little creeped out by them. I enjoy the ups and downs of this episode more than any of the others, I think.
There's a good payoff.
Well, thanks for watching. Stay with us for the next one.
And remember, kids, I love you.
Oh, you.
Goodbye.